Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar on Connected Operations for Process Manufacturing with Microsoft Dynamics 365. I can see we have some registrants who are still joining in. Let's give them a couple more minutes before we begin. Hi, Prakash. How are you doing today?
Very good, Neha. How are you?
Not too bad. Hi, Ed. How are you doing today?
Hi, Neha. How are you? Hi, Prakash.
Hello, Ed.
Not too bad, Ed. Looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. After a busy and fruitful quarter, I think much needed break.
Absolutely. I think it's always good to have a long weekend looming out at you in the middle of the week. It feels really good.
Neha, it's only Wednesday, so you're already in the weekend mood.
Just another day to go, Prakash. What's a day?
Great.
Okay, so once again, I think we have folks coming in. So once again, thank you for joining us today for our webinar on process manufacturing and what we can achieve for you using Dynamics 365. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to participate. My name is Neha Bhagat, and it's a privilege for me to be your moderator today. So let's begin as we deep dive into connected operations for process manufacturing, right? Starting off with some key stats. All of us love numbers, right? So let's lay a foundation of our discussion with the top investment priorities for CIOs today: growth, cost optimization, and digital transformation. So this reflects the current economic climate that we are all feeling and facing, right? And on the flip side, we see that the priority areas for investment are security, data analytics, ERP, and cloud. So what does this tell us? This shows that companies, while wanting to innovate and while wanting to push ahead on your digital transformation journeys, they also do want to keep a tab on the cost efficiencies, right? And this, is very much in line with their key priorities. So let us meet the team now and have them introduce themselves. Starting off with Prakash Anthony, our CEO and co-founder. Hi, Prakash.
Hi, Neha. Thank you for this opportunity. And by education, I'm a chemical engineer, and I have overall around 25 years of experience in the IT industry. But before the IT industry, I used to work in a project manufacturing organization where I used to set up chemical plants before diving into the software world. And I've seen multiple ERPs, including Dynamics. It's great to be here. I'm looking forward to the session.
Thanks, Prakash. It's great to have you here. So we were hoping to have one of our key clients, Cindy Danduron from AdFast, to be a part of this webinar and share her insights on the process manufacturing that implementation that we did for them. Unfortunately, due to a personal emergency, she hasn't been able to make it. Stepping in for her, however, is our next panelist, Ed Diamond, who is our global head of sales. Hi, Ed. Do you want to say a few words?
Sure. Thanks so much, Neha. Hello, everyone. My name is Ed. I have close to about 25 plus years experience in the IT industry. I started my career with working with product companies like HP, Microsoft, and then before I moved into IT services. So I'm really looking forward to the webinar today and the Q&A interaction after. And I'm really happy to be here. Thank you.
Brilliant, Ed. Thank you so much. And I'm Neha Bhagat. I lead the supply chain optimization practice and pre-sales for Korcomptenz. I have a total of about 16 plus years of experience in the enterprise solutions arena. And I spent about close to a decade with Microsoft managing their enterprise solutions portfolio. I also worked on the client side for a bit with McDonald's India, and I today will be your moderator. So moving on, let me give you a quick glimpse into what we do. Korcomptenz is a 19-year-old company headquartered in New Jersey, providing total technology transformation solutions. We service close to 300 clients globally, providing solutions that solve business challenges and gain them competitive advantages. We are full stack technologists and strategists that can help you maximize your return on investment across all leading platforms from Microsoft, Salesforce, Kentico, Aqua, and others. So, in addition to our global delivery model, what we also do is we allow our customers to take advantage of our multiple facilities to help save them up to 40% of the total cost of ownership across implementations and support. So, just a quick glimpse into our services portfolio, right? How do we achieve what we just said? How do we achieve our customers' goals and make them our goals? We do it across three major competency areas, which is engage, enable, and accelerate. Engage focuses on the front end technologies related to the customer engagement. So we focus on ensuring that our customers know their customers really, really well, right? We get our clients a 360-degree view of their customers so that they can react to every changing market demand. Enable drives operational excellence by improving business functions using industry-wide best practices and enterprise solutions. Accelerate propels your business forward with cutting edge and emerging technologies. So if you combine all of these together, like in a jigsaw puzzle, what we do is we power your digital transformation journey. Moving on. So let's take a look at a few housekeeping points before we dive into something that all of us are waiting for. There'll be a Q&A towards the end of the session. However, don't hold on to your questions. Feel free to keep sending them into the chat on the GoToWebinar chat panel, and we'll take them up at the end of the session. During the session, we'll have to mute all attendees so that all of us have a really smooth experience. Moving on, let's look at what we are all here for, right? So this is the agenda for today. It's going to be a packed hour. So to start off, Prakash will be highlighting the key challenges and the heavy trends in the manufacturing industry today. And he'll also give us a view on the complexities and the differentiators of the process manufacturing industry. I will then step in and try to explain the capabilities of Microsoft's offering and how it can help process manufacturing companies across all sub-industries. We will then follow this with a quick demo of the product. And Ed comes in to give us a real life view of how all of this technology can really benefit a customer. So we have a chemical specialty customer for whom we implemented process manufacturing very recently. Ed's going to be taking us through the entire case study. We wrap it all up with key takeaways and a Q&A session. So let's get started. Over to you, Prakash.
Thank you, Neha. And thank you all for taking the time to attend this webinar. I'm very hopeful that you will gain a good understanding of the Dynamics 365 process manufacturing solution and how Korcomptenz can help you in your journey. So here you see, zeroing down to process manufacturing, these are some of the challenges that companies are currently facing. I've been meeting with a lot of process manufacturing companies, and the common thread is that the pandemic has resulted in supply chain uncertainties, resulting in increased inventory holding costs due to overstocking. And now, coupled with lower pricing, it's increasing pressures on their bottom lines. Industry standards and regulations are becoming more stringent with evolving safety standards, localization and requirements, and climate regulations. Product quality is suffering due to inconsistent systems and a vulnerable supply chain. And with the world becoming more digital as we speak, companies with archaic systems are often vulnerable to security attacks and virus attacks. There is a collective change of focus on sustainability, and companies are facing challenges to adapt their processes and make them more efficient in order to meet sustainability goals. And finally, A vulnerable supply chain is unable to adapt to disruptions and changes in the economic climate. Next slide, please. See, here you see are some of the top trends that define manufacturing industries today. I'm not going to touch off all of them, but just a couple of them. Digital twins, they can be used to simulate any physical process or object. For example, if you see in a manufacturing setting, a digital twin could be used to simulate a new product's dimensions or create a digital replica of the equipment on the factory floor to see how the machinery operates under certain conditions. Using digital twins, Boeing, in fact, has been able to achieve 40% improvement rate in first-time quality of parts. Smarter and more sustainable products. That's again become a key. The emergence of smart connected IoT devices isn't just changing how products are manufactured, but what types of products are manufactured. These days, it seems there are smart versions of everything, and the trend for smart products shows no sign of slowing down. Therefore, manufacturers will increasingly have to explore ways of giving customers intelligent products they expect. Now, on top of this, I believe customers will increasingly gravitate toward products that are sustainable, reusable, and recyclable. The throwaway culture of the past is hopefully coming to an end, and this is another factor that manufacturers will have to take into account. Next slide. Now, the trends I talked about in the last slide, when conceptualized and realized on the shop floor, result in smart factory based on Industry 4.0 principles. Now, let's, for example, imagine a factory line having a constant problem with quality. Factory technicians not reporting for work, causing a production downtime or breakdown in a machinery, resulting in lost production. Now, these are kinds of traditional manufacturing challenges that a smart factory can easily address. By connecting to an organization's digital supply chain network and augmenting human intelligence with artificial intelligence, a smart factory can predict machine downtime by analyzing performance trends. It can sense quality degradation and immediately enact correction efforts. And it can actively manage the workflows and track worker safety and performance data. Now, one can create digital twins that are virtual replica of processes, production lines, factories, and supply chain by pulling data from IoT sensors, devices, PLCs, and other objects connected to the internet. Digital twins can be used to help increase productivity, improve workflows, and design net new products. Manufacturers can experiment with changes to the process to find ways to minimize downtime or improve capacity by simulating a production process using digital twins. Moving on to the next slide. Conceptually, process manufacturing can be divided into two broad areas, batch and continuous process. Now, batch process is more traditional of the two methods, in which all ingredients are mixed in large autoclaves or vessels with appropriate temperature and pressure as required. Once the recipe has been achieved, the product is packaged and sent out for distribution or moved to the next process. Now, the main advantage here is obviously it's pretty simple, easy to control, and the investment is pretty less. And you also have a good handle and control over the quality standards. On the other hand, continuous process involves continuous process of ingredients that are fed into a system where they are mixed and then packaged for distribution. Now, the biggest advantage here is that it's more efficient than batch processing because ingredients are always moving through a system. There is very little downtime, and it allows for a higher volume of products to be produced in a shorter time frame. Next slide, please. Now, I'm glad to see that many of you are from a wide range of process industries like food, chemicals, pharma, oil and gas, etc. And I'm sure all of you have your unique set of problems, focus areas. Now, for those of you who are in the pharma and chemical industry, probably formula management and maintenance is very important. Many of the drugs or chemicals may have active ingredients, may have certain potency or concentration requirements to be effective. So not only production of the finished good to certain standards are important, but handling, storage and transportation of these products is very important to ensure it reaches the consumer in a way it is most effective. Shelf life and expiration dates are very important to keep track of, or in some products, longer shelf life would lead to more value. And so last in, last out inventory strategies have to be used to increase the value of inventory. Managing of products, byproducts and co-products could be very key requirement in process industry, with a focus on sustainability. Managing co-products and byproducts has become even more critical. So across multiple industries, these co-products and byproducts are increasingly used as raw materials and hence need to be stored, packaged with care in line with regulatory norms. Now, if we talk about the food industry, allergen management would be very key, apart from recipe management and adhering to FDA and USDA regulations. When it comes to the oil and gas industry, maintenance of the assets are key. Keeping the process flow manufacturing plants operating with minimum downtime is the key. So preventive maintenance and AI and machine learning would play a big part in predicting failure of key machinery or components in a manufacturing plant. So with this, I come to the end of my presentation. Over to you, Neha. Take it over.
Thank you so much, Prakash. That was very informative. So I think Prakash touched upon a lot of key points and key focus areas for the manufacturing industry and process manufacturing specifically, right? So how can we embrace some of these trends that were highlighted? How can we achieve our digital transformation goals, right? So we have over the years evaluated multiple solutions, and we have spoken with multiple clients, and we came to a conclusion that Dynamics 365 provides us with the best foundation and an end-to-end experience for process manufacturing companies. So what is Dynamics 365? So Microsoft Business Application Suite has an end-to-end ERP product called Finance and Operations. So Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations unifies global financials and operations to empower people to make fast and informed decisions. Finance and Operations helps business adapt quickly to the changing market demands and drive rapid business growth. Let's now look at the key functionalities of process manufacturing that Dynamics brings to the fore. So as we can see on the slide that is being presented, it kind of touches upon all the basic foundational functionalities required for process manufacturing. But just to highlight here, Dynamics does support multi-mode manufacturing setups, be it discrete, process, or lean. Right? These are some of the key practices that Dynamics 365 supports, which give us a very good foundation for process manufacturing across any industry. But I think we've had a lot of clients as well, and I'm pretty sure all of you have the same opinion, where they've come and asked us that, hey, this sounds great, this is great, but we want something specific to our industry. We are in the heavy equipment industry. We are in, pharmaceuticals, or we are in a paint manufacturing industry. How do we get that flavor, but still use the best practices of Dynamics? So what we have and what Microsoft brings to the front here, right, is a very significant and strong partner network. These partners build industry-specific solutions on top of this already strong foundation that we have. And these partners help us bring the industry flavor into a base ERP solution that is already driven with best practices. So this way, our clients and customers can have the best of both worlds. They have best practices, yet they are relevant for their industry. So let's move on and take a look at the value proposition of a solution like Dynamics 365. So as I mentioned earlier, it provides a firm foundation for process manufacturing across diverse industries. It supports true mixed mode manufacturing and integrates with third-party TMS and WMS solutions, which gives our clients a resilient supply chain. Industry specific solutions will provide you with the right balance to have a scalable, modern, and yet relevant ERP solution. So now let's try and take a look at everything that I've just spoken, right? Let's look at a quick demo of process manufacturing suite in Dynamics 365. So this demo could have been performed with multiple solutions, but I think that Dynamics gives you a very user-friendly and nice interface to take a look at the end-to-end functionality. This is going to be a pre-recorded demo so that we all have a very smooth experience, and we will be back online after the demo.
Hello all. This process is about demoing the end-to-end cycle for a chemical, which is a propylene pellets. I'm going to show the composition of the formula, create a production batch order, process the batch order in MES, report as finished the formula item along with the co-products and byproducts, and then finally end the product along with transferring the time from the MES to the actual production order. Before running through the process of producing the finished goods, I'm going to show you a few minutes of the application. What you see is the landing page of Dynamics 365. We click on the home button. On this page, you'll be able to see a few sections of the application. One is the first section is more of a calendar for this current month. And then you'll have some, if you're part of a workflow approval, you'll be able to see anything which has been assigned to you. And also you have a lot of workspaces. This is what we call as a workspace for each of the modules, like a bank management, a benefits, a budget planning, and more relevantly, if you can see the production flow management, and then product readiness for manufacturing, all other modules. And on the left hand side, if you can see, there are a few icons. One is about expanding the modules, which is available in Dynamics 365. Under the modules, you can see there are host of 20 plus modules, like starting with accounts payable, accounts receivable, the asset management, audit workbench. These are all part of the finance module. And then coming back to the operations, you'll be able to start with product information management, procurement and sourcing, sales and marketing, and then more importantly, the production control management, along with the time and attendance, which is part of the MES system. So not wasting much time, if you go to any one of the module, you'll be able to see a common set of menu items. In this case, if you can see, I'm in a production control module. If you collapse all the menu items, you can see it's been grouped according to workspaces, production orders, operations, Kanban. It's another type of manufacturing. We can do it here. Manufacturing execution, adjustments, predominantly they are all journals of this production module. Inquiries and reports, periodic tasks and setups. Setups is a section of the module where not every user will be having access. It will be more of a configurations relevant to that module. And then production orders are day-to-day jobs, what we do in the production screen. And operations is basically in production module, what are all the operations you perform on a product to get the product out of the system. And then on the manufacturing execution system, you do have a production floor execution system, which is the crux of this entire demo, as well as the production execution process. So without wasting much time, let me jump on to homepage. From the homepage, I'm just taking you to the product readiness for process manufacturing. Under this, I could see few data. Right now, it looks like all the products are having the right data relevant for starting the production. So let me go and click on the first icon to find a relevant product for me to start the demo. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to take a product named P4000, which is a propylene pellet, a formula based item. It's a chemical item, chemical production item. And if you look at this item designer, you'll be able to find all the raw materials which go into the production of this formula item, like a propylene, a rubber, a talc, additive, and a pigment. Along with this, you might also be able to get two co-products, which is propylene chips, propylene blocks, along with the propylene slag. If you want to know how much of this quantities which goes into the production of 1,000 quantity of the batch or the finished good item, we can get it more visualized in the formula versions. So when I click on the formula versions, which is named as 4000, under that you can see the different ingredients as we saw in the designer. In this case, 5 different products are being used, which is the raw material in the various quantities as shown in this column called quantity for producing 1,000 pound of this finished good items. Along with this, you might also be able to see what are all the co and byproducts which are coming out of this formula production in the co-byproduct screen. As you can see, to produce 100% yielding 1,000 pound formula batch of this part number P4000, you'll be able to get 100 pounds of co-product of propylene bricks and 18 pounds of propylene chips, along with a 10 pound of byproducts which are wastage here. Also, you'll be able to set up the total cost of the co and byproducts in the screen. In this case, the method is total cost of allocation based on the total production cost of the finished good item. How much of the cost is being allocated to the co and byproducts? So in this case, 8.79% of the total cost is allocated for the first co-product, which is propylene chips, and 3.29% is allocated to the propylene blocks, and none for the propylene slag, which is a byproduct. So I'm going to start with the production order screen here, and by creating a new batch order. So I'm going to choose the same part number which I showed you in the previous step, P4000, and based on the batch size of 10,000 quantity and the yield of 100%, it's chosen the right formula for me and also the right route which is tied up to the part number. Once I create a production order, the first step I'll be doing is, as you can see in this process section, these are all the different stages of the production which I'm going to take you through. The first step is an estimation step. The second step will be in a scheduling step. And then I'll come and release the order to the production floor execution. Once it has been executed, the start and report as finished is being done in the production execution system. Finally, the ending will be done on the screen. That's the ERP application. Okay. So why do we do an estimation is to get estimated cost for this production. If I do an estimation, I'll be able to infer even before I actually produce this product, what is going to be my estimated cost for 10,000 quantity of this product. So I go to the manage cost and I could see the view, the calculation details. As a theoretical estimate, it is $1.38 per pound of this finished good item. That's my estimated cost. If you can see the overview of costing, it will tell you that 10,000 quantity production, the total cost should be ideally happen at $13,822. Yeah. And once you finish the production, the realized cost amount also should be the same unless until there is some variance due to some of the cost change in either the raw materials or the cost per hour for the hours. Yeah. So then the second step is about scheduling this order. I'm going to jump in and schedule an operation for it. Basically, to get a rough estimate of from and to date of running this order, but to schedule onto the MES screen, I need to schedule the jobs and then release the order to the MES screen. So let me allow some time for this step to get over. Now this has been operation scheduled. I also need to make sure I do a job scheduling, because job scheduling is an important step for me to execute the job in the MES screen. Okay. Once I schedule the job, also I do have done a setup wherein the formula lines or the raw materials will be automatically reserved when I do a scheduling of the production order. Okay, as you can see, it's already reserved the required quantity for this raw material. Next, I'm going to release this order to the floor execution by changing the status from scheduled to released. Once it is released, you'll be able to see this batch number 30 in the MES screen, as well as if you look at the route, we do have 4 operations of propylene extrusion and cutting, drying, mixing dry materials and filling the dry materials, which is called like PP execution, cut and dry filling, and numbered according to 10, 20, 30 and 40. So when you go to the MES screen, you should be able to see the same set of numbered operations for you to execute these operations in the MES screen. Let me jump onto the MES screen and find this order 30. When I open the MES screen, this is the landing page of the MES screen. All I need to do is just a sign in, because my user ID is already linked to the employee ID. And in the MES screen, you'll be able to see the order number is 30 is what we are scheduled. And then it is broken down into 4 different operations as per the route. So what I'm going to do is start the first operation 10 and say I'm starting the full 10,000 quantity. It's always possible you want to start partially and also report partially, but for sake of this demo, I'm keeping it full quantity. As you can see, there is a green icon here, which means it's inferring that a particular job is being in progress, which means that the clock has started ticking the moment you start the job. Okay. So to look at that, you can go to the active job and you'll be able to find that particular job of 10 or operation 10, which is being executed. As you can see, the time it has started to tick against this operation, unless you stop the operation if you're going on a break, or you can say I've done completing this operation 10 on this quantity. I'm going to report the progress of this 10,000 quantity. Okay, I'll say 10,000 as completed. Then I'll say this operation is also completed, so that I go on to process this next subsequent operation numbers as per the route and which is already scheduled. Once a particular operation is completed, you will not be able to see that job in the screen. It's no more an active job. Then you have to go back to the all jobs for the remaining 3 operations, 30, 40 and 20, 30 and 40. Okay, so I'm going to take a 20 operation now, start it, and quickly I'm going to finish them also, because it's a repetitive step. I'll come to this active job screen, report the progress of this operation. And also say this operation is complete. Similarly, I'm going to start operation 30, start the job. And then complete this operation. Finally, the last 40th operation. And say, when you do the report as finished for the last operation, system will pop up main item, main formula item along with the co and byproducts for you to report as finished. Okay. So let me do one by one. I'm going to report 10,000 of the main item. And then again, when I click on this, since as you can see, it's only the main part number has been reported as finished. And then I'll do a report as finished for the byproduct. 100 pound. Then a co-product 180 pound. And then another co-product 1000 pound. And finally the formula item of 10,000 quantity. And also I'll say the operation is complete. Once I do this, I can go back to the production screen and I can end this order. Ending of an order is a process of financially accounting the production order, wherein all the financial entries will be posted to the general ledger module. Okay. So once I end this, you can go back to the manage cost again and view at the calculation details so that you'll be able to see under the realized cost what was my original estimated cost through the estimation process and the realized cost for this. Okay, so there are some variances. We can always analyze the variances, but this is how you'll be able to see the estimated cost was actuals. And then of course you can also look at the cost of the co-products which has come from the production of this formula item. And then here also you can have an overview of costing for each of the part number. It's supposed to come at 515.53, but it's come at 404. Definitely it's rolling back from the finished goods cost. And if you want, you can see 404, 8.37% of 50,000 is 404. Yeah. And this ends the demo for the process manufacturing flow in Dynamics 365.
That was a really insightful demo, I think. So let's now, see the functionalities that were demonstrated to us, implemented with one of our key clients at Fast. Ed is here to take us over that case study. Over to you, Ed.
Thank you, Neha. That was a very interesting product overview and demo, I think. And hello, everyone. I'm going to cover the work that we did for a customer called AdFast. And now, AdFast is a company focused on innovation and customer experience in the process manufacturing industry. They're headquartered out of Montreal, Canada, and operate across 11 locations across North America. And they manufacture low toxicity sealants, adhesives, and insulant foams. Moving on. When we first met the company at FAST, they had a very old version of Microsoft Dynamics AX 2009 that they were using for their core ERP. And this system had a lot of customizations that were not adapting well to the digital age. They also had a standalone legacy warehouse management system to cater to their warehouse operations, such as shipping, receiving, etc., that badly needed an upgrade as well. And the other key systems that they were using at that time was a B2B customer-facing website where contractors and other customers could come in and place orders and then pick it up either at their warehouse or have it delivered to them. They had Salesforce for their sales and marketing operations, and they also were using a manufacturing execution system. Now, all these systems were not tightly integrated, so there were quite a few challenges that they were experiencing, and I'm going to go over some of them right now. For example, firstly, from a customer experience perspective, customer orders were taking a lot longer to process due to the lack of timely information. So their sales and customer service teams did not have the required information on pricing and inventory to respond quickly to customer requests and also to confirm valid orders. So that was one problem. Secondly, from a warehousing perspective, inventory information was maintained across two applications, the main ERP and the standalone warehouse application. There are often mismatches across both systems compared to actual physical inventory in the warehouse. They were also missing a mobile warehouse application that could speed up activities like internal movement of inventory, replenishment, and the like. So thirdly, and very importantly, the MES, the manufacturing execution system, was not integrated. So as a result, they do not have accurate information on time consumed by machines and labor to arrive at a realistic cost and pricing structure. So they were hobbled by that as well. And finally, from a reporting perspective, both management and operations teams do not have accurate information to make timely decisions that were optimal for the business or for their customers. Moving on. So against this backdrop, we set our sights when we started the solutioning. We set our sights on key focus areas that I highlighted on the previous slide, and we started working with the AdFast team to create a solution roadmap that laid the right digital transformation foundation, which could then be leveraged to be able to take their business to the next level. So this solution involved moving their old ERP and warehousing systems to Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations for the core ERP. And then we integrated this core system tightly into their B2B portal, customer portal, Salesforce, and their manufacturing execution systems. And we use products like Microsoft BizTalk and Logic Apps to do this integration. So once this was done, this resulted in the availability of timely data across the network. And so now they were able to view data from across this, these integrated systems. So, and that brought in a lot of attendant benefits, right? So one of the key benefits, of course, the very important one was a better inventory visibility across the system. So this provided them with a better sense of what inventory was available to promise to customers, improved inventory carrying costs, working capital, better planning for their purchasing folks. So that was the first piece. The second was quicker and more accurate order processing. I talked about the challenges with order processing earlier. So now, both the sales and customer service teams had the right pricing, margin information, inventory information that was, the latest real-time information. So this allowed them to respond to customers faster, leading to a better customer experience. So that was another key area. Third, from a vendor perspective, they wanted a more streamlined, faster ACH vendor payment system process. So that was implemented using Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. So the vendors were happier that the whole thing was streamlined. They were getting their payments faster, on time. And finally, from a reporting perspective, we talked about the reporting challenges. So our team was able to leverage the fact that Dynamics Finance and Operations offered aggregated data. Earlier, they used to use a lot of elbow grease to aggregate all this data. This, comes in finance and operations, Dynamics Finance and Operations. It comes aggregated. So pulling that out, putting it into a Power BI dashboard, again, another Microsoft product, tightly integrated, to provide you actionable information, highly visual, was something that the management really enjoyed using. Operations teams as well. So make quicker decisions, faster decisions and also more accurate decisions. So all this put together, the AdFast team was really glad to be able to implement this. I mean, we worked very closely with the AdFast team to help them meet the objectives that they set out for the business. And they already focused on now planning how to push the envelope on customer experience, delight, and operations excellence by charting out the next phase of their digital transformation journey. And we are happy to be the part of that as well. So that's a little bit about what we did for this company. Hope you found that interesting and informative. Thank you for your attention. And now I'm going to send it back to Neha to discuss next steps. Yeah.
Thanks, Ed. So moving on, let's take a look at what we bring to the table, right? So Korcomptenz is a one-stop shop for a comprehensive solution focused on acting as the ROI multiplier for our clients. When our clients embark on these large-scale projects, they invest a lot of time and a lot of money, and it's our job as their partners to ensure that they get the ROI the quickest and the most that they can from the project. So how do we really go about doing this, right? We use cloud solutions. We digitize their operations using enterprise level solutions like the one that we just saw and quite a few others as well. And we get our clients in touch with their customers, with our customer engagement solutions, thus, directly impacting their bottom lines. All this digitization is, consolidated and brought together with the analytics to drive real-time actionable insights. We all know that today data is king, right? All customers, all companies, large or small, generate huge amounts of data. But all of this data can only make sense is only useful when you can make sense out of it and actually take decisions based off of it. So that's what our analytics team helps them to do. So let's move on to what next. So we've heard a lot of exciting things through this webinar, right? What are the differentiators? What are great trends? We saw a solution that helped us digitize process manufacturing. But so what next? What can we do after this? Or what can you do after this? So we have some exciting news for the attendees of this webinar. We are pleased to announce that for attendees of this webinar that there is a special time-bound offer that will be sent to your email with more details on how to leverage technology to transform your businesses, right? This time-bound one-time offer, which expires soon. So please take a look at your inbox and act promptly. Let's move on now and get a few question and answers in, right? I see a lot of them coming up. So let's take some that, are repeating over and over again. The first question I see that came up a few times is that does the solution support mixed mode manufacturing processes, right? So let me take this since I did speak about dynamics. And this is a question that a lot of our clients ask us because I think this is the new age of manufacturing where you don't tie yourself to one mode of manufacturing, but you try to use the best manufacturing a mode based on the product that you're trying to produce, right? So Dynamics 365 supports true mixed mode manufacturing processes. What it does is that it allows you to set up multiple production lines, and a mode of manufacturing can be set up against these production lines. So this helps you make the best of process manufacturing, lean and discrete manufacturing for your, for your companies. And this will also help drive a lot of cost efficiencies as you can use a combination of manufacturing methods to produce your items. I hope that this answers the question. If you would like to see a demo, do get in touch with us. We'll be happy to set up a quick demo for you. Another question that we have is around Dynamics still, but on the licensing. So what are the Dynamics 365 licenses that are to be procured for process manufacturing? Ed, will you be able to take this?
Yeah, sure, Neha. I think I saw that coming in as well. Question,
Yeah.
Great question. So I think from a Dynamics perspective, Dynamics 365, the product comes with all the functionality. You're going to get all the major modules like the process manufacturing, etc. But there are a few kinds of licenses depending on the role of the user. So a full user, for example, will have access to all the modules and all the functionality. There is another user they call the team user, and this is typically used for lightweight users that need access for simple tasks like timesheet access, approvals, reports, and the like. And if the users want a little more than that in terms of functionality, there are also activity users that delivers some more additional functionality. And lastly, they have a user they call device users. So this is more dependent on the device and not the users. So where the licenses for the user working on a shared device. So for example, in a warehouse, you could have a device being used across a few people. So you would take one device user but use it across multiple users. So that is kind of in a nutshell the kind of different user types. I hope I was able to answer that question.
Thanks, Ed. So I see yet another interesting question come up around the product, right? So how does Dynamics 365 compare with other products available in the market? And what makes it a top choice for process manufacturing? Prakash, it's a tough question, so I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah, thank you, Neha. To be frank, most of the products would handle 80% of your requirements, but it's the 20% which is the key, which sort of takes you to the next level. And it all depends upon what are your strategic initiatives, what are your strategic goals, how's your industry performing. So we need to really carefully evaluate that 20% of your requirements and decide which product suits the need. So when it comes to Microsoft Dynamics, it's a very strong product for process manufacturing. It handles process manufacturing very well with the use of formulas, byproducts, co-products, concentration, shelf life. It's one of the products in the market, I would say top 3, which could handle process manufacturing very easily and effectively. So apart from that, I think where probably you would certainly have a slight edge is because of the Microsoft ecosystem. Now you all know that Dynamics 365 is built on the Microsoft Azure platform. Now this Azure platform comes with a lot of functionality like machine learning, AI, data analytics. And obviously, you have the weight of Microsoft behind this product. They can never go wrong. So these are some of the pointers I would like to give you when you're considering Dynamics. And if you choose Dynamics for process manufacturing, it will never fail you.
Thank you so much, Prakash. That was great. So I see one question on co and byproducts, which I think I'm going to take. So the question reads, how can you monetize byproducts and co-products? So in this age, I think we touched upon this a little bit in the presentation, but in this age of sustainability and a focus not just by companies, but by governments on sustainability, right? Monetization, usage, and disposal of co-products and byproducts is becoming critical. I think in our demo, Renu did a great job on showing how co-products and byproducts could be generated, what would be their costing, and how they could be part of your your process manufacturing end-to-end process. So in that case, what happens is that once the production order ends, it actually creates stockable co and byproducts, right? So this means that these are items that are stocked. The costing has already been done in the manufacturing process. I think we showed that during the demo. And these can then be sold or monetized. So a company that has a byproduct of plastic, that can sell it to some recyclers, right, to ensure it is recycled and then sold down the line. So monetization of co-products and byproducts is extremely possible, and in this day of sustainability is something that we should all be thinking of. I have another question here on the implementation. So what would a typical implementation plan for the solution look like? Prakash, can you give us some of your insights here?
Thank you. I'm not sure that I can do justice to it, very quickly, but overall, it all depends upon, your typical situation. Like, let's say for a typical company with one legal entity, one factory, one warehouse, and if you're implementing the process manufacturing module along with the other modules like finance, inventory, supply chain, I would say it would take around 6 to 9 months. We can get it done. It all depends. If there are more complex scenarios, if you have a couple of legal entities more, if you have more warehouses, if you have mixed mode manufacturing, each legal entity follows its own manufacturing process, then it could be a little bit more. It could take 12 to 15 months. So it all depends upon your situation, and we can do a no obligation study of your requirements and guide you very effectively.
Okay, so a last question that has just popped up, and it's an interesting question, Prakash, for you. How can we use the rework and subcontracting process in process manufacturing?
There is a subcontracting module in process manufacturing in D365, which we can, definitely lead. Whoever's asked that question, we can set up some time. So it handles subcontracting very effectively, and even the rework process. Rework would be more in terms of discrete industries, but in terms of process manufacturing, depending on the product, which has to be reworked, whether it's possible or not, we'll have to really see. But in discrete, definitely, rework can be done. But in process, I'll have to typically, look at your, product for rework and then decide. Maybe it can go into another manufacturing process. If the rework is going to be happening multiple times, then we can have a small process done. Certainly, it's difficult to say right now. Yeah, but certainly I'd like to speak to you to understand more in detail.
Yeah, I think what we can also do, Dharmendra asked this question, Prakash. So we can set up a quick call one-on-one if you get in touch with us. We can show you what we have in terms of subcontracting and how we could potentially handle rework, and we can also understand your business case better. So, we can tune our demo to your business case, if that helps. Okay, and I think we are running out of time on our webinar. So let's move on, Nisha. That's all we have for questions, unfortunately, today. So thank you so much for patiently listening to us. Any other questions that you might have, to write to us. We'll answer you one-on-one. We are happy to set up a meeting to discuss those questions and any or more problems that your organization might be facing at this point, and we are happy to tell you how we can help solve it, right? This brings our webinar to an end, and as a next step, we would encourage you to connect with one of us and help us engage with you for a one-on-one strategic assessment of your requirements at no obligation. We hope you take advantage of the limited time offer and contact us at sales@korcomptenz.com. Thank you and have a great day ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Neha.
Thank
and
you.
Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks. Bye now.
Thank you.